Hi dudes, today on the menu we've got this thing. Some kind of ultimate warrior who without training is stronger than all seasoned samurai and their commanders. All men fear her, legends tremble, steel cries, gravity resigns. And honestly you can already guess that from her face. So yeah, get comfy, grab some food, emotionally prepare your nervous system and enjoy the video. The game starts right away with a cutscene. We see our main character, a girl named Atsu, crying over her dead parents. They were killed by this squad of freaks in masks. Their leader nails Atsu to a tree with a sword. They set the tree on fire and leave the girl to die. Atsu starts recalling a legend her mother used to tell her about the spirit Onryo. These are yen-full ghosts that wander the world driven by rage and revenge. Subtle, right? But Atsu doesn't die that night. She survives, escapes, and 16 years later comes back to brutally take revenge on the group that killed her family, a gang called Outcasts. There are 6 of them: Snake, Spider, Dragon, Kitsune, Demon, and Lord Saito. Apparently when they handed out cool nicknames, this guy just got stuck with his surname and HR never fixed it. So we are playing as a girl whose parents were killed by mysterious masked group, and during the game we will hunt them down one by one. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The game kicks off with Atsu arriving in a village where one of Outcasts is hanging out, Snake. This is the tutorial segment. Our heroine walks in like she owns the place, slices up Snake's men who are bullying a horse, and then faces the Snake himself. The fight is mostly to remind your fingers how to press buttons and what does what. But already here you see the main strong point of the game, cutscenes. The stylish, pretty, with cool framing and cinematography. Exactly the kind of samurai movie vibes they nailed in Ghost of Tsushima. In the end, Atsu cuts Snake down, crosses his name of her little revenge handband and cries off. Title card, Ghost of Yōtei. Yōtei is the mountain if you are wondering. Right now Atsu is back at her home. From time to time the game will drag us into flashbacks. How she used to play with brother Jubei, how their father trained them, how their mother played her shamisen, and in general how life was great and cozy. These flashbacks actually work. They let you at least feel something for Atsu's parents and see them before everything burned down. Especially in contrast, now the house is crooked, the training grounds are ruined, everything is broken and dead. On this note the game really starts. Our first goal, find info about the outcasts in a nearby tavern. And of course on the way you can wander the open world and breathe in the Japanese atmosphere. Sakura leaves, flowers, hot springs, samurai duels, scenic landscapes. You know that feeling when a game makes you want to drink sake and start writing haiku? Yes, that. Let's be honest, this game is literally Ghost of Tsushima with some tweaks. Almost all the side activities moved straight across. Hot springs, shrines, bamboo cutting, optional duels, enemy outposts. They added some simple puzzles. Personally I was the fun. There are also gang hideouts you unlock by solving teeny baby puzzles, plus a few more small activities. But in general we have standard open world content. Same as the first game, side activities are fine but nothing crazy. Run around, fight, clear maps, meet a couple of stylish bosses. The rest is the best of Ubisoft outpost camps markers on the map. Is it bad? No. Is it genius? Also no. Playing Yōtei as a time killer is totally fine. The open world is beautiful, moving and fighting feels good. As background comfort food it works. Atsu reaches a tavern where some scumbags are hanging out, followers of Saito. We slice them up and in return the locals tell us a bit of Saito and his inner curse. That's another important part of the game. Initially Atsu has no idea where to find each target. As you complete quests, different NPCs give you hints where someone was seen, where to start looking, where a new boss or objective is. They also point you to side quests and useful stuff. Bro, there's a hot spring nearby to go chill. There's a wolf den over there, go check it out, maybe there's loot. At first quests feel cool, because early on many of them are tied to flashbacks or training. You fight, you get a bit of story, sometimes it's emotional. Then we hear about a guy who lives nearby and long ago. Atsu's father forged a sword for him. He's Honbei, a former legend dual sword fighter. Atsu visits his hideout, he tells her to get lost. She says, "Hey, it's me. I want revenge on Saito, teach me." He grumbles, but agrees. And here is one of the parts I actually like at training. You are not just pressing buttons, sometimes they give you little mini games. Humber throws burning coals at you and you have to cut them. Another teacher makes you spearfishing, etc. Not all teachers get cool quests like this stuff. Sometimes they just hand you a weapon and say press X plus Y to be cool, throw a few mobs at you and that's it. Why they didn't do an EQ mini quest for all teachers, no idea. It would have been better. Right now Atsu learns to fight with dual blades. After another training session, she and Honbei sit and talk. He admits on the night her parents were killed, he saw the house burning and didn't dare step in. Atsu replies that it's not his fault, she blames herself instead. We get another flashback. Atsu and Yubei walk through the forest picking mushrooms. They meet Saito. He plays a kind strategy card. Kid, I'm lost. I love walking in the forest looking for things. Can you help me? Atsu, being kind but naive, invites him home for lunch. And surprise, plot twist. Turns out Saito and her father were old associates. Father betrayed his gang at a critical moment and ran away. Others followed him, which cost Saito a bunch of men. He wants revenge. And that's how we get to that very night. He kills the parents, burns the house, nails Atsu to a tree. Flashback ends. After long training, Atsu masters dual wielding and finally can challenge Saito. We hear he'll be at near before. We sneak in, kill his men, and Saito recognizes her by the sword squad, her father's work. He offers a fair duel. Of course, this is just a teaser. Mid-fight, the fort is attacked by enemies of Saito, everything goes to hell, Saito bails, and Atsu ends up half dead. Honbei saves her, and this structure is repeated for almost every target. New region, new allies, early encounter with a boss, he escapes, a pile of quests, final decisive fight later. Every single time. In this stage you have two paths. Go to the winter region and fight Kitsune, or go to another region and fight the demon. I chose Kitsune because it was closer on the map. If I only knew what awaited me there, I would happily fight the demon until my grandkids grew old. It starts strong. Atsu and other travelers are crossing a snowy mountain pass. Bandits ambush them, Kitsune's gang. Everyone except Atsu gets massacred, she's poisoned but survives. This arc is memorable for two things. The winter location is gorgeous. The way the sun glitters on snow here is genuinely stunning. It is mind-numbingly boring in terms of story and pacing. Atsu decides to learn more about the local villain. She enters the tavern, gets into a friendly game which naturally turns into a bar fight. The samurai she wanted information from tell her to get lost. And then appears Ayuki, a musician playing in the tavern. She tells Atsu, wait, I will help you. Meet Ayuki. She will be helping Atsu throw out this chapter. And I genuinely struggle to remember a more boring character. Let's start with Atsu herself. She's emotionally flat, rarely shows any reaction, almost never jokes, mostly mumbles things like, what happened here, I should investigate. She has the emotional range of a damn log. It feels like they surgically removed 90% of her personality. This can still work if you surround such a protagonist with bright, interesting side characters. But here's a pair her with Ayuki who's just as dry. Half of their conversation boiled down to fishing, abstract small talk, philosophical nothingness. Two people with a charisma level of a dry plank having endless dialogue stands. I don't want to say I fell asleep. I want to say my pulse flatlined. You probably won't fully get it unless you have played it, because I am not going to receive every line. Just imagine two background NPCs from another game suddenly being upgraded to main duo. Even Oblivion NPCs had more memorable conversations. Ayuki tells us Kitsune's gang is called Foxtails and they have started terrorizing locals. She also wants to stop them. We go scout them together, hide, watch their guys move around. We try to follow one of them, but it's a trap, so we fight. The next few quests are basically ads for the side content. You find a note on a corpse about a hideout, get there, solve a few baby puzzles, sneak into their base. All very Assassin's Creed. Go here, listen, follow, step, only with more talking. On top of that, almost every step is accompanied by long dialogues with Ayuki, who again is not exactly electricity on screen. The deeper you get into this arc, the more she appears, and the more the game becomes an endurance test. We eventually discover Kitsune's lair and get ready to fight. Here is where the fun starts. Enemies here use Kusarigama, chain sickle weapons. Kitsune also fights with Kusarigama. Normally in a well thought out game, when you enter a region with some special mechanic, they give you tools to counter it. Fire enemies, you get fire resistance. Shield enemies, you get a shield breaking weapon. Here, nope. The weapon that counters Kusarigama is a spear, and you are taught to use that spear in a completely different region where the demon is. And the demon himself uses another weapon, so no matter what you do, go to Kitsune first, you don't have the spear. Go to demon first, this counter weapon is taught elsewhere. The whole logic is backwards, and Kusarigama itself is some of the most annoying design in the game. Combos 8 to 10 hits long, several sneaky unblockable attacks. Those weights on the chain can hit you from off screen while you fight multiple enemies. It's not hard in a satisfying way, it's hard in a who designed this way. We fight Kitsune, he monologues. You don't know everything, anyone could be under the mask. Things aren't what they seem. At some point he poisons Atsu again and Aoki jumps in to save her. They escape together and then comes a plot twist everyone saw coming from orbit. Atsu realizes Aoki is a former Kitsune. Was there anyone who didn't guess that from the first minutes? I doubt it. We get a long talking scene. Atsu, you were part of the group that killed my parents. Aoki, I regret it. I hate Saito. I tried to kill him. He exposed me, branded me, kicked me out. Now they hurt me too. Later they talk again. Atsu, you were Kitsune. I should kill you. Aoki, if you want to kill me, fine. But the current Kitsune must die too. It's important to Saito. We also learn that on the night of massacre, Aoki actually tried to help Atsu and got branded for it. She spent years plotting against Saito, but her own student betrayed her, took over Foxtails, and she was kicked out. We fight Aoki in a duel. Naturally Atsu doesn't kill her. Instead Aoki offers to teach her how to counter Foxtails and deals with poison. We get a sort of eagle sense mechanic, listening to surroundings, tracking enemies. And then we get more Ubisoft style stories at How 10. Track someone, listen to them, infiltrate another base, remove more masks. The prologue and the first Saito encounter gives the illusion the story will move steadily, with each target mattering. But in the middle of the game the plot mostly stalls. You slowly kill targets, listen to not very interesting dialogues, occasionally get an important scene, and only in the final act the story really moves forward. If this was just some random open world Ubisoft clone, I wouldn't even complain that much. But the first Ghost had a stronger story, better character arcs, emotional final. Here 80% of the story is predictable, safe, and just there. After what feels like 3 years of walking, talking, tracking footprints, and solving kindergarten puzzles, the game finally remembers it's an action game. Aoki and Atsu track down the real Kitsune hideout. We sneak into the base, cut off a small army of Foxtails, and at the end of the dungeon the game finally does what it should have done hours ago. Throws us into a proper full-on boss fight with Kitsune himself. And this time it's a real deal. We win easily, Kitsune drops, Foxtail loses their head, and the game finally remembers it can be fun when it wants to. Next up, the Demon Arc. We arrive at a stronghold held by Matsumai clan. They officially rule these lands. Saito built his own clan and he's trying to take over their territory. Right now he's preparing the ground to fully invade. Matsumai of course don't want to give up their land, so they resist as best they can. Atsu meets a samurai named Kitamori. They chat a bit and suddenly the camp gets attacked by Demon's men. We help fight them off, and afterward Kitamori makes a deal with Atsu. You help us clear out Demon's gang, we pay you. Fair enough. We track down the bandits, wipe them out, and night falls. We sit by the fire. Kitamori notices Atsu's sword, the guard, specifically asks whose blade it is. She says my father's. Plot twist number 2. Kitamori is actually Jubei, her younger brother. He survived. Atsu is shocked, he is shocked, and they talk. After the attack, Jubei was saved by a samurai from Matsumai. He stayed with them, learned to fight, drink sake, and grab geisha, as all good samurai must do. Eventually he rose through the ranks. This chapter actually works, not because the events are unequal, but because the relationships between Atsu and at first they are happy to see each other, then realize they don't really know each other anymore. They argue, reconcile, clash over values. It's one of the few times where the game feels alive. We reach the main castle Daemon has taken over. He sits on a strategic fortress, builds fortification and uses captured Matsumai samurai as forced labor. Plan, free the prisoners, punch the Daemon in his stupid ways. We hunt Daemon's pupil with Jubei. Rumor says Daemon was betrayed by a guy named Gora. We go after him. Gora turns out to be completely unhinged, sits on a mountain and shoots at us while complaining about a rash somewhere very personal. I wish I was joking. I was literally platforming while they decided his skin problems. Eventually we catch him. Jubei says he can't turn Gora over to Atsu. Command wants him kept as a prisoner. Atsu is furious. Nobody, not even you, is gonna stop me from getting revenge. Her initial plan was disguise herself as a random mech, pretend to deliver Gora to Daemon for their what, once alone with Daemon kill him. But Jubei suggests a different route. Bring Jubei himself as a high value prisoner. Daemon will definitely be interested. Use it to get close. We do that. Daemon takes the bait. Jubei is handed over, Atsu gets paid, but Jubei is thrown in prison and Atsu is kicked out of the castle by nightfall. We sneak back in at night, free Jubei, get Daemon's chambers, and Daemon figures out Atsu is not who she pretend to be. He throws her out of the window, we barely escape. Atsu wants to try again, Jubei not so much. He doesn't want to risk his snake, he can already feel the punishment for disobeying orders coming. He tells her, our father would want us to protect the living, not add more deaths. Atsu hears, you don't care about family, you can already smell the theme, revenge bait, kites love violence, etc. And yeah, in a vacuum that's a valid theme. But here's the funny part, Saito's clan is a real, active threat to Matsumai, the region, and literally everyone. It's not just personal revenge, it's also removing a warlord who's actively destroying everything. Anyway, Jubei leaves, Atsu doesn't stop. She overhears that there is a secret passing into Daemon's castle and Gora knows about it. We sneak into the camp where he's held and make a deal. Freedom for information. Of course things don't go smoothly. Jubei catch us, then the camp is attacked. We get a long mission cutting through hordes of enemies, including a big army versus army clash. Eventually Jubei and Atsu reconcile. She admits anger sometimes blinds her. She fears she's becoming like Onryo, a ghost consumed by revenge. She's happy Jubei found his place in life. She regrets being stuck in the past. We learn the location of the secret passage. Next mission. Night infiltration, freeing captives, storming the castle again. This time Atsu isn't just chasing revenge, she also wants to free Matsumai samurai. At the end we finally fight Daemon. Out of all bosses he felt the easiest. Slow, predictable, not many moves. We smash him, satisfying but mechanically not the pick. Next arc, 2 targets at once. Dragon and Spider, Saito's sons. So yeah, we get a chance to hit him where it hurts. It starts with Jubei visiting Atsu's home. We see what really happens that night. Kids escaped, Dragon and Spider found them. Dragon shot Jubei, Atsu was taken to the tree. Back in the present, they walk in the garden, talk and then Ayuki arrives. She recognizes Jubei. Oh, you have grown. He learns she is a former kitsune and absolutely loses it. You are insane. I can barely convince my clan to tolerate you and you are teaming up with her. This chapter conflict is between Jubei and Ayuki. He doesn't trust her, he thinks she would have died long ago. Later she proves herself, help in battle. He crackingly admits she changed. Story-wise, this arc is a meh. Gameplay-wise, it's one of the best. We get a ton of combat, different enemies, a lot of pressure, and the environments are gorgeous. Saito forces are landing on the shore, attacking the city where Matsumai leadership lives. We join the defense, endless enemies, bloody battles. Jubei is freaking out because an entire village was wiped out. He's totally out there. Her name is Kiku, a small girl. And this is actually one of the strongest parts of the chapter, Atsu's relationship with Kiku. They pick flower together. Kiku secretly follows Atsu on a mission, later they all hide in a temple. Their bond starts to feel like an improvised family. It's important for later story beats and shows a side of Atsu you almost don't see elsewhere. We chase Dragon and Spider around for a while. Spider is a drunk clone, Dragon is a real warrior. Eventually we find Spider's camp, snake in, kills his henchman and beat Spider himself. But don't kill him. We decide to use him as bait. We'll stage his execution, Dragon will come, we take them both. Smart plan. Of course, we'll outplay everyone. While the samurai throw all troops onto the beach, Saito forces attack the castle. Jubei runs to save his daughter, Atsu sees Dragon on the shore. Jubei begs, forget your revenge, help me save my child. Atsu says, I can't. So Jubei goes to rescue Kiku, while Atsu fights Dragon. The fight is tough. Spider supports his brother by shooting a rifle from afar. Still we can't Dragon down. Only when Atsu remembers, alright, my friends, we fight our way back to castle, but it's too late. Kiku survives by escaping to the temple, but Jubei and Ayuki are taken by Saito's men. Atsu and Kiku flee to Atsu's home. At night Atsu wakes up and sees Kiku training with a sword, cursing Saito and promising to kill him. She asks why Atsu didn't help her father. Atsu admits, same reason, she was blinded by anger. She promises to save her brother. Final chapter, we track down Spider again, we fight, beat him, and he tells Atsu, come on, finish it! Take revenge for your family. Atsu says, I have a new family now. He's so shocked by this cliche that he basically gives up and just tells her where Saito is hiding. And not only that, he personally takes her there. Peak writing. If this was earned, okay. But Spider never really apologizes, never truly regrets anything, continues mocking her and threatening Kiku. And yet Atsu suddenly feels compassion. You can understand forgiving Ayuki, they spent hours talking and you can believe she regrets her past. But Spider, he doesn't earn it at all. Anyway, final mission. We need to break into Saito's fortress, packed with dozens, maybe hundreds of soldiers. We cut off tons of enemies, free Jubei and Ayuki, and 3 of us fight our way out. Saito is there too, but Atsu chooses to focus on saving her pupil. Back home, they find Saito already waiting for them, with Kiku. Everyone tests up, accepting him to kill the kid. Instead, he calmly lets her go and says, I only need Atsu. And this moment is actually good. It shows Saito isn't just a cartoon psycho, he understands who is actually responsible for what. He's not interested in random cruelty. He focused on Atsu, the one who killed his sons. It fits perfectly into the theme. Revenge breeds more revenge. Except we barely know him. Because in the entire game, Saito's presence is limited to intro, a couple of 1 to 2 minute cutscenes where he's told Atsu killed another one and he goes find her on Ra. After the layered villains of the first game, the Mongol leader, the uncle, all the tension and nuance, here Saito feels underused. If the game had actually developed him, this scene could have been incredible, but we just don't have enough of him. We get a conversation, he says Atsu understands how strong the pull of revenge can be. He believes what her father did was betrayal. She believes her revenge is justified. Time to fight. Phase 1 boring, he uses a big weapon, feels clunky. Even Atsu tells him to drop the toy and drop his sword. Then Jubei joins the fight and we get a 2 versus 1. Saito proves it's not a joke, he holds his own, warns Jubei, that's it. No more mercy. Atsu goes full rage mode. The fight looks cool, burning backgrounds, emotional stakes, mechanically decent but not the best in the game. Atsu wins, she nails Saito to a tree, just like he did to her. Jubei dies, Atsu cries, it finally feels emotional. 6 months later, Atsu and Kiku walk through the forest, they bury Jubei next to their parents. Kiku learns to play the Japan guitar like Atsu's mom. A wolf that has been periodically showing up in the cutscenes appears again. Atsu tells it, the hunt is over. The wolf leaves, Ghost of Yōtei, credits. So what do we have? The world is instantly beautiful. I genuinely thought Assassin's Creed Shadows set the bar, but this one is right there too. Boss fights are fantastic. Every major fight is stylish, intense and mechanically satisfying. When the game lets you just fight, it's absolute shines. Gameplay is solid, movement, combat flow, open world exploration, good stuff. But the story is painfully average. Mass twists are predictable, middle of the game drags, many arcs feel like filler, Saito is underdeveloped, 80% of dialogues feels like background noise, and the main problem for me personally, the protagonist. I will be blunt. Her face looked like someone modeled it when the render engine was crashing. Personality wise, she's a brick wall, she's not interesting, not memorable, not fun to listen to. You don't want to follow her journey, you just tolerate her because the game around her is good. On top of that, we get that usual ultra competent, unstoppable warrior package. We are told entire squads of trained samurai fear her. Seasoned commanders who have seen countless battles loses to her effortlessly. As kids, she is already stronger than her brother. Everywhere she goes, she is automatically the deadliest person in the room. Not because the story showed her gradual growth over years, but because she's a woman. And then we get Jubei's daughter, a tiny girl ready to run into deadly missions, fearless, instantly wanting to fight. Now her from Shadows was more charismatic, more grounded, looked and felt like a real person, not a checkbox. Here it often feels like someone up top sent a memo, makes the protagonist the strongest, deadliest, emotionally detached warrior, and not forgot to sprinkle in a couple of next generation already ready for war moments. You can feel the corporate fingerprints of the narrative. The world and combat were made by people who love games. The story feels like it went off 3 committees and a modern checklist filter. And I honestly feel bad for devs at Sucker Punch. You can see their craftsmanship in the world, the combat, the music, the boss design, but the story direction clearly came from somewhere higher. So my verdict, if you can ignore the protagonist and some of the writing choices, the game is genuinely good. If you can, wait for a PC port, let mods do their sacred work, and turn this into the game it deserves to be. If you have made it this far, you are a legend. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe and drop a comment. It really helps the channel grow and means a lot to me. We will stay in touch. See you in the next one.